ASEAN leaders call for constructive dialogue over Myanmar situation. Vietnam willing to support India and Laos in fighting COVID-19. Vietnam's economic growth likely to expand 6.7% in 2021, according to Asia Development Bank. Miss Universe Vietnam 2021 finale slated for December this year. Hello, welcome to FBNC News as we have gone through another week together, and thank you once again for joining us here in today's program. Now, the leaders of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN countries reached a 5-point consensus Saturday on the situation in Myanmar, calling for constructive dialogue among all parties concerned. According to the chairman's statement issued after an in-person leaders meeting held in Jakarta, ASEAN leaders had a close discussion on the recent developments in Myanmar and expressed deep concern on the situation in the country. A 5-point consensus attached to the statement said there shall be the immediate cessation of violence, and Myanmar and all parties shall exercise utmost restraint. According to the consensus, constructive dialogue among all parties concerned shall commence to seek a peaceful solution in the interest of the people. A special envoy of the ASEAN chair shall facilitate mediation of the dialogue process with the assistance of the Secretary General of ASEAN, it said. In addition, ASEAN will also provide humanitarian aid through the ASEAN Coordinating Center for Humanitarian Assistance on Disaster Management. The meetings is participated by leaders of Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, and Myanmar's Commander-in-Chief of Defense Services and Chair of the country's newly formed State Administration Council, Senchen Min Aung Hlaing. Foreign ministers of Laos, Thailand, and the Philippines attended the meeting as representatives. Around 4,400 police personnel have been deployed at 51 points across the Indonesian capital to ensure security. Roads around the ASEAN Secretariat, where the meeting was held, were temporarily closed. ASEAN said in a chair statement released at the informal ASEAN ministerial meeting on March 2nd that it was ready to assist Myanmar in positive, peaceful, and constructive manner. Established in 1967, ASEAN groups Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. The patrol forces of the Vietnam Coast Guard and the China Coast Guard on April 28th finished their first joint patrol on the waters adjacent to the demarcation line in the Tonkin Gulf between the two countries in 2021. In a phone call with representatives from the patrol force of the China Coast Guard, Colonel Trần Văn Thọ, Deputy Commander, Chief of Staff of the High Command of the Coast Guard Region 1 and head of the Vietnamese patrol force, stressed that both sides had coordinated closely and well performed the approved plan. The joint patrol has contributed to promoting the fine relationship between the two parties, states and peoples in general, and between the two Coast Guard forces in particular. The two sides patrolled through 13 points in the demarcation line in the Tonkin Gulf. They conducted 4 discussions and checked and monitored 1 fishing vessel of China and 3 of Vietnam, and stepped up disseminations on regulations related to fishing and COVID-19 prevention and control. Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Nguyễn Quốc Dũng on April 27 hosted a reception for Indian Ambassador to Vietnam Ranay Kumar Verma, during which he affirmed Vietnam's solidarity and readiness to stand side by side with the Indian government and people in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Dũng expressed his sympathy over hardships and damage caused by the second COVID-19 wave in India, voicing his belief that the country will soon overcome this difficult time and challenges. He also conveyed the sympathies of Vietnamese leaders and people to their Indian counterparts. In reply, the Indian ambassador briefed his host on the COVID-19 situation in the South Asian nation and voiced his gratitude for the sentiments and support of the Vietnamese government and people for India. He affirmed that the Indian government will create the best conditions and exert efforts to ensure safety for Vietnamese citizens living, working and studying in India. Similarly, with the neighboring country Laos, standing member of the party's Central Committee's Secretariat Võ Văn Thưởng said Vietnam is ready to provide support within its capability to Laos in overcoming difficulties that Laos faces in COVID-19 prevention and control work. The official made the pledge during a reception in Hanoi on April 27 for Lao Ambassador to Vietnam Sangfat Hong Buang Ngoan. Thưởng expressed his delight at the development of the special solidarity between Vietnam and Laos and affirms that Vietnam will work together with Laos to protect and foster the ties between the two countries. He offers sympathy to the Lao party, state and people over the loss caused by the pandemic, noting his belief that under the leadership of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, the governance of the Lao government and solidarity of the entire political system and Lao people, the country will be able to contain the spread of the pandemic in the shortest time possible, thus ensuring the implementation of socio-economic development tasks. Increasing COVID-19 prevention and control measures have been noticed at Nội Bài International Airport in Hanoi and Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport in Ho Chi Minh City, as Vietnam has been in the public holiday to celebrate the National Reunification Day, April 30th, and May Day, May 1st. A representative from Nội Bài said the airport has worked with carriers and ground units to seek agreement on measures to control health declarations and deploy human resources for the task. In waiting areas, internet-connected computers and support teams are in place to help passengers complete their declarations. At Tân Sơn Nhất, more security scanners have been added to handle any overcrowding. Travel demand over the public holiday increased significantly, with travel companies saying that up to 60% of tours have been booked for the 4-day holiday. Tourists are mostly taking short-distance trips and making brief stays in Sapa, Hạ Long Bay, Phú Quốc Island, Đà Nẵng, Đà Lạt, and Côn Đảo Island. Vietnam's Consumer Price Index CPI in April was down 0.04% against the previous month, while up 2.7% year-on-year, according to the General Statistics Office. The index in the first 4 months grew 0.89% year-on-year, the lowest growth rate since 2016. Compared to the previous month, a downturn was seen in the prices of 4 out of 11 main groups of goods and services, with housing and construction materials taking the lead, up 0.43%. It was followed by post and telecommunication services, up 0.2%, food and catering services, up 0.13%, and cultural entertainment and tourism, up 0.11%. The prices of garment, textile, headwear and footwear remained stable compared to the previous month. The prices of transport services posted the strongest increase of 0.87%, while those of drinking and tobacco, 0.14%, and equipment and household appliances up 0.11%. Prices of educational services in January-April saw a year-on-year rise of 4.48%, driven by a tuition fee hike starting from the 2020-2021 academic year. On contrary, electricity prices in the period fell by 5.88% over the same period last year. In the months, airlines and tourism operators introduced a host of promotions to boost tourism. On average, the air ticket prices dropped by 11.4%, train fares down 7.39%, and tour prices down 3.3%. Domestic gold price in April contracted 1.9% over the previous month, but went up 13.8% year-on-year, making the 4-month figure up by 20.8%. The core inflation rates in April and the first 4 months of 2021 compared to the same period last year were the lowest in the past 5 years. Vietnam's economic growth is expected to rebound to 6.7% this year, despite the recent resurgence of the COVID-19 pandemic in nearby countries, and rise to 7% in 2022, according to the Asian Development Bank. In its Asian Development Outlook ADO 2021, released on April 28, the ADB said Vietnam's economic growth will be boosted by export-oriented manufacturing, increased investment, and expanding trade. The growth momentum is expected to continue thanks to ongoing reforms to improve the business environment and Vietnam's participation in multiple free trade agreements involving almost all advanced economies. Rising international oil prices and increased domestic consumption is expected to push inflation up to 3.8% this year and 4% in 2022, the report said, adding that faster than expected recovery in China and the US would significantly expand Vietnam's trade and growth prospects. The report said Vietnam can maintain inclusive growth by softening the pandemic's impact on poverty and incomes. The Miss Universe Vietnam 2021 finale will be organized in Ho Chi Minh City on December 17th, according to the Municipal People's Committee. Contestants can send their applications to the organizing board from now until September 8 at the website hoahouhoangvuvietnam.com. The preliminary round of the pageant will be organized in Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi from September 10 to 24th, while a reality show series will take place in Ho Chi Minh City and several other localities from September 24th to December 17th. The semi-final round will be organized on December 13. Miss Universe Vietnam 2017 He Han Nie, who entered top 5 at Miss Universe 2018 finale, will be a member of the 7-strong jury. The pageant was first held in 2008. The current Miss Universe Vietnam is Nguyễn Trần Khánh Vân. Now that has wrapped up FBNC News for this week. Thank you for joining us, and we'll look to seeing you again next time. Goodbye.